All right. Well, hi everyone, and welcome to today's eAcademy session. My name is Tisha Vera. I'm the Education and Program Manager here at the Hug. First, I just want to say thank you for joining us. Before we begin today, I have a few housekeeping notes. Everyone is on mute today, so we can hear our speaker without any background noise. If you have questions, feel free to drop those in the Q&A feature that's located in your Zoom dashboard. Feel free to drop those at any time, and we're going to save some time at the end for Q&A. The recording of today's call will be made available in our eAcademy on-demand files. And with that, I will pass the floor over to our presenter today, Joe.
Thank you, Tisha. Hi, everyone. It's been a minute. I'm glad to be with you today. Welcome and thanks for joining. We're really excited to share something new with you, something we believe will change the way that you work, learn, and solve problems. It's called the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant, acronymized as PLA. And we're super excited about this. Learning PeopleSoft doesn't have to be slow or frustrating or mean digging through binders of documentation. PLA is designed to make knowledge immediate, conversational, and practical. It's powered by AI and grounded in SpearMC's proven PeopleSoft training materials that you already know and trust. So today, over the next hour or so, we'll walk through what PLA can do, how it can help you, both new users and seasoned professionals, and why we see it as the next step in supporting PeopleSoft teams everywhere. We're just really excited that you're here, and it looks like we've got a really good number of people here supporting us. So I am your presenter today. My name is Joe Finlinson. I am a Managing Director of Solution Strategy with Mythics. I came to Mythics through the acquisition of SpearMC, and I've spent nearly 20 years of my career working with enterprise technology, leading PeopleSoft and Oracle projects in healthcare and the public sector and commercial industries. Along the way, I've managed some large projects like a $40 million PeopleSoft implementation. I've also built systems that process billions of dollars in transactions every year. My background spans software engineering, IT leadership, managed services, and compliance. I've been a customer running large PeopleSoft teams inside organizations, and I've also been a consultant helping clients modernize and secure their ERP systems. So I feel like this mix of hands-on experience and leadership is really what led me to focus on solving one of the biggest challenges PeopleSoft teams face, which is wasted time and lost knowledge. And that's exactly what we're here to talk about today with the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant. So here's where we're headed. We'll start with a quick introduction and context, why we're here and the problem that we're trying to solve. Then we'll answer the big question, what is the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant? And we'll walk through it, what it is, why it matters, and how it works. We'll move into a demo so that you can see it in action, not just slideware, but how it behaves in real life. And then we'll look at the business value and the ROI that PeopleSoft Learning Assistant can bring to your organization. It isn't just about cool technology, it's about saving time, retaining knowledge, and having meaningful impact on your teams. Then we'll cover what implementations look like and next steps, how you get started and what the implementation could look like. And finally, we'll wrap up with a little bit of Q&A and discussion. Hopefully there's some time at the end and we can do that. By the end of the session, my goal is that you'll have the vision and the practical detail to decide whether PLA is a right fit for you and your PeopleSoft team. I'll keep this brief because this presentation is really about PLA, but it helps to know who's behind it. Mythics today is the combination of three of Oracle's most trusted partners, Mythics, Spear MC, and Smart ERP. Each organization brought different strengths to the table, and together we cover the full spectrum of Oracle solutions. What this means for you is simple. Whether it's strategy, licensing, implementation, managed services, or training, you have one partner that can cover it all. And because we work across industries like public sector, healthcare, higher ed, and commercial enterprise, we've seen just about every type or kind of PeopleSoft challenge that there is. And that's the perspective that we're bringing to the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant. Let me walk you through this slide quickly. Our corporate experience, starting at the top left, you can see the breadth of our customer base. We cover all 50 states, moving from left to right. We cover all 15 cabinet level agencies, more than 400 higher education institutions, and 500 commercial enterprises. So we're trusted across that entire spectrum that we serve. Now on the bottom row, you can see that the numbers speak to the scale of our operations. We have over 100 cloud projects that have been delivered, 1,500 implementations of Oracle technology, and really huge one here, over 100,000 Oracle resale transactions supported. But this is not just another system implementer, also one of Oracle's largest resellers, with deep contract vehicles that make it easier for customers to produce the technology that they need. Mythics is second to none in this respect in the Oracle ecosystem. And behind all of this is our team of Oracle certified professionals, making sure that our projects, implementations, transactions, and products all translate into meaningful business outcomes for our customers. And now we'll look at the heart of the challenge of that PLA aims to solve. So you likely track licensing, upgrade, and consulting costs, but you probably don't track the biggest PeopleSoft cost, which is wasted time. According to an IDC McKinsey research article, knowledge workers spend 30% of their work week searching for information. So doing a little bit of math, for someone making $60,000 a year, that would equate to $18,000 lost productivity if we're looking at just one employee. So if we span that up to 50 employees, you're wasting about $1 million a year. And if we span that up to 500 users or employees, we're looking at about $9 million of wasted time. That's the scale of the problem that we're trying to solve. PeopleSoft Learning Assistant reduces the time wasted finding answers to PeopleSoft questions. So when we think about what slows PeopleSoft teams down, it usually isn't the software itself. The real slowdown comes from everything that surrounds it. First, it's training. Training's often outdated the moment it's delivered. Teams attend a class, they download a PDF, maybe they sit through a slide deck or a presentation, but as soon as updates roll out, that content is already behind. Static training is almost impossible to keep current. Second, wasted search time. So we talked about this on the previous slide. You've seen this, users digging through documentation, combing through SharePoint sites, or emailing or messaging coworkers, just trying to find an answer. Hours are lost this way. And even then, there's no guarantee that the answer that you get is right or up to date. Thirdly, knowledge loss. So many organizations depend on a handful of experts. You know who these people are. They're the people who know your system inside and out, But when these people retire or get promoted or move on, that knowledge disappears with them. Suddenly, your team is left scrambling, relearning what was once second nature to a key individual. And finally, slow resolution. Questions that should take minutes stretch into days. Tickets pile up, projects slip, and the business slows down, not because people can't do the work, but because the information isn't accessible when it's needed. So, outdated training, wasted search time, knowledge loss, and slow resolution together, these create the hidden cost of wasted time. And that cost gets bigger with every added user to your ecosystem every day. This is the problem we designed the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant to address. So we just talked about what slows PeopleSoft teams down. And the truth is, more training alone isn't the answer. What PeopleSoft really needs is continuous learning. Your system is constantly changing. You have patches, updates, and new features that are being added on a regular basis. But again, your training materials are static. So a learning assistant needs to evolve as your system evolves so that the answers stay current. Teams also need real-time answers. When a user is stuck, they don't want to wait for a ticket or dig through hundreds of pages of documentation. They want the answer right now in the moment they're doing the work. And they want that answer to be in context. So a generic user guide generally isn't enough. What matters is the guidance that fits into the specific task at hand. Whether you're a functional analyst, a developer, or an administrator, that context makes the difference between spinning your wheels and moving forward. Finally, the answers need to be trusted. That's where AI meets expertise. The learning assistant isn't just pulling random answers off of the internet. It's powered by the same Spear MC trusted PeopleSoft training content that you already rely on, enhanced by AI to make it smarter and faster. So why a learning assistant? Well, because PeopleSoft teams don't need more training. They need answers that are continuous, contextual, and real time. Continuous, contextual, and real time that are growing with your system as it's being used. So this is what transforms wasted time into productive time. And that's what the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant delivers. So this is your first view of the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant. This is a condensed screenshot that we're looking at here at the top. You can see the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant, the user that's logged in, log out button, a place where you could put in your question and kind of a welcome message. And if you have used any of these GPT chatbot-like things, it's not a mistake that this looks familiar. Our PeopleSoft Learning Assistant starts with AI-powered retrieval. So this means that when you ask a question, you're not getting a guess as a response, you're getting a precise answer that was pulled from the right source. So the system reaches into that trusted content library and it pulls back the right response, and you can have confidence that that response is reliable and correct. As you can see here, it's a conversational interface. You type a question the same way you'd ask a colleague. You're not hunting through PDFs. You're not trying to memorize a navigation path. It's just plain language in and clear guidance coming out. As we've mentioned, it's connected directly to the SpearMC training library. So years of curated PeopleSoft training content, content that already exists, that's already been vetted, and is already trusted by PeopleSoft teams, now delivered in a smarter and faster way. Further, it's always on. Whether it's midnight before payroll or 8 a.m. before a board meeting, the learning assistant is always available. You're not waiting on a ticket. You're not chasing down that one key individual that happens to have the knowledge. The answer is in the system. So in short, it's accurate, it's conversational, it's connected to the right knowledge, and always available. So that's what makes the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant different. And it's what turns wasted time into productive time. So I promise this is as technical as we're going to get today. And if we can get through this slide, you've earned your AI you've earned your AI badge for today. So this is how PeopleSoft Learning Assistant works, and I'm going to walk you through this image step by step. So let's take a look. It all begins with the user, and the user asks a question in plain language, just the way they'd ask a colleague. They're asking that question of the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant. And the first thing the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant does is it queries the trusted content, in this case, our training library. So this is the content that we talked about. This is backed by our All Access Learning Pass. It's the library of all of the training that SpearMC has ever done, plus the wealth of people books and blog articles and all the sorts of knowledge that we have curated over the years. So the library sends back to the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant relative or relevant passages that we're going to call context. So it's the core of the answer. You can think of it as like, we're gonna search on apples, and the library is going to return everything it knows about apples to the learning assistant, and then the learning assistant is going to pair your question with that context that it grabbed from the training library, and then send it to an AI engine. And this is where we talk about generative AI. And in the AI engine, the AI engine then takes that context plus the question, it understands it, it composes it, it creates, generates an answer. And then it returns that answer to the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant, which doesn't just deliver the answer back to the user, but it answers it with the context and the link back to the original source, so that the user can validate the answer themselves. So when you look at this flow, the thing to remember is that the training library is the authority, the AI engine is the processor, but the learning assistant is the brain. It orchestrates every step to make sure that the user, in this case you, are getting a fast, trusted answer. Well, that wasn't too bad, right? We just covered the slide. You now see how it works technically. No magic. So this is the fun part. This is where it comes to life. We're going to look at the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant in action. We're going to look at what it looks like to log in, which is simple but critical. And then we're going to look at a couple of functional use cases. These are like everyday tasks that a user might perform to see the step-by-step clear guidance that your team can get from the assistant. Then we're going to look at a technical use case, more like for an admin or a developer. So this is to demonstrate how PLA can go deeper and can walk through configuration, troubleshooting, even patching. And then finally, we're going to look at the integration between ALP and Oracle Guided Learning. So this is where PLA really connects, not being a standalone tool. It ties directly into our All Access Learning Pass and our Oracle Guided Learning content so that you're not just getting an answer, but that you're getting it from the same body of knowledge that your teams already use and rely on. So whether it's login, functional, technical, or integrated use cases, the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant is designed to be right there at the moment that you need it. So now let's take a look. And yes, when I'm presenting to hundreds of people, I use videos because I just don't trust the demo gods. But here we are at the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant login, and we're putting in an email address, and this system uses magic links. So based on your email address, it knows whether or not you're registered to the system, and it's sending you an email. So this is the email that was sent to the user to log in, and there's a button there, a magic link, if you will, that is going to take you directly into the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant. And so here we are, all logged in, nice and happy, and ready for the next thing. So now that you're logged in, we kind of walked through already what the screen looks like. You can see who's logged in. You can see the welcome message. And then you can see the text box below where you can put in your message or your question. And in this case, we're going to say, how do I create a journal entry in PeopleSoft? And we're now going to go through the process that we saw in that sequence diagram. And the assistant is going to return an answer for us. It's going to tell us that to create a journal entry, we're going to go to the journal entry page, and it's going to give us the path, and it's going to tell us how to enter a journal voucher and how to look up the related voucher information and how to process that journal entry. And you can see down here at the bottom of the screen, there was ability to provide feedback. Wow, I can't talk as fast as my video went. I'm going to wind it back just a little bit. Okay, so down here at the bottom, there's the ability to provide feedback. This was a good answer or this was a bad answer. And the other part that becomes really interesting here is references. So you'll be able to expand that, and then you can see the library training content that was used as the context to provide this answer. So supposing you want to actually see what that content is, you can click on it, and it's going to take you directly into our All Access Learning Pass content. And in this case, you're looking at the presentation that walks someone through how to create journals. And you can see that detail, and you could do that deep dive if that was something that you needed. And of course, you can always come back and when you're done. So expanding on our story, we're going to hit the clear button at the top. And now we're going to put in a new query. This time, how do I enroll for benefits? So another functional, but this time on the HR side. And again, you can see that the assistant provided an answer about how to navigate to self-service enrollment, what the path is, and just some general instructions on how to enroll for benefits. And again, you can see the references down below that show the learning content from which this was sourced. So now we're going to go on to a slightly more technical question. The question we're going to ask this time is, how do I write a PeopleSoft query? And it, again, is going to go out and do its thing. It's going to think about it, and it's going to come back with an answer and tell us how to write a PeopleSoft query. And you can see, again, the references that are backing the answer that the learning assistant provided. And we're going to go in and we're going to look at it in the library. And in this case, you can see there are some rather detailed instructions about how to create a query, going in and talking about records, talking about query manager basics. This is all stuff that's kind of beyond the scope of this presentation, but just to show you that the depth is there. Something else you can do that's cool is you could decide that you wanted to see more information from that course. And in this case, we're now navigating to the video that was created when the course was taught. And you can, of course, scroll the video, and I've scrolled it forward to now where you can actually see the instructor demonstrating how to create a query with Query Manager in PeopleSoft. So now we're going to ask the question in a slightly different way, because one of the advantages to this system is also an integration with Oracle Guided Learning. So if we say, what are the steps to create a PS query? And I know that semantics are a little different. What are the steps to create a PS query? And it's going to come back and it's going to show us this new button here, show me how. And when we click on show me how, it's going to take us to a Spear MC PeopleSoft demo instance. And you can log into that PeopleSoft demo instance with some generic credentials. And it actually kicks off the Oracle Guided Learning training, which step by step, in this case, walks you through how to create a query. Which is pretty cool. And there are several, any place where we've built out OGL content, that will show up in our PeopleSoft Learning Assistant. So moving forward, now that you've seen the power of the assistant, let's start with people who feel the impact most directly. That would be the end users. So for your end users, the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant means getting instant answers. No more digging through PDFs or asking around or waiting on a ticket. They get the answer that they need right in the moment, inside the flow of their work. It also means that your users can learn while they're working. Every question isn't just a solution to today's problem. Uh, it becomes training for the next challenge. And over time, your users are going to become more smart, more confident, and less dependent on outside help. And this leads to confidence. End users know that they can trust the answers because they come from an authoritative, curated content source, and that it's not just guesswork or tribal knowledge. So for end users, it's about speed, learning, and confidence, the things that make them more effective in their day-to-day work. And now let's zoom out a level and talk about what PLA brings for support teams. And for support teams, PLA acts like a second brain. It means faster resolution. When the user gets stuck, the assistant provides the ability to find contextual guidance. So this will reduce escalations. It'll reduce My Oracle support tickets. And it will keep the business moving. So if you're trying to figure out how to enable a new module, this is a great way to get the step-by-step guidance on how to configure that module. Second, it helps with knowledge retention. Every organization has that handful of experts we talked about. They know PeopleSoft inside and out. They've been doing it for 100 years. But what happens when they retire or they get promoted or they leave? Their knowledge goes, and having the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant is like that safety net because the knowledge still exists. The knowledge is there, and it's accessible to the whole team. Thirdly, it makes onboarding and cross-training dramatically easier. So instead of new hires relying on months and months of shadowing or hand-me-down notes or digging through a SharePoint site, they can get clear, validated answers right away and ramp up more quickly. So for support teams, it's about speed, knowledge continuity, and making sure that your team members can succeed quickly. And finally, let's talk about what it looks like at the leadership level. So for leadership, the value is measured in outcomes. So the first outcome is lower cost. Training and support represent a huge ongoing expense. By giving users direct access to answers, the learning assistant reduces that spend without sacrificing quality. The second is higher productivity. So when end users move faster and support teams resolve issues more quickly, the whole organization gains efficiency. This means that your service levels will improve, user sat goes up, and PeopleSoft delivers more value to the business. And the third is future-proofing. So leaders know that turnover is inevitable, but with the learning assistant, knowledge doesn't have to walk out the door. It stays in the organization, available to current and future teams. So for leadership, the value is clear. Lower costs, higher productivity, and a future-proof approach to knowledge management. Together, these three principles, end users, support teams, and leadership, show the full spectrum of the value of the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant. Here's where the math gets real. So we know that knowledge workers lose a lot of time just searching for answers. But let's stay really conservative. Let's not talk about the 2.5 hours a day. Let's assume that the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant only gives back 15 minutes a day. Now, 15 minutes doesn't sound like much, right? It's a coffee break or a quick hallway conversation. But look at what happens when you add that up. That's more than an hour a week. Over a month, it's 5 hours. And by the end of the year, it's 62 hours per user that were saved by having an assistant that can answer questions. That's nearly 2 weeks worth of time given back to every PeopleSoft user every year on a really conservative estimate of what could be saved. Now think about what it means for your users. If your users had 2 extra weeks, 2 weeks where they weren't stuck searching, waiting, or asking, but actually moving projects forward, serving your customers, and getting real work done. That's the return, not just in hours, but in confidence, momentum, and the sense that PeopleSoft is helping them do their job instead of slowing it down. So we're going to have plenty of time for questions. We're going to talk a little bit about how you could get started with PLA. When it comes to implementation, the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant was designed from the outset to be simple. First, it's a SaaS platform. That means there's nothing to install, no infrastructure to maintain, no long IT projects to implement. Your team gets access and can start using it right away. Second, it's connected to the PeopleSoft All Access Learning Pass, or AALP as we like to call it internally. That's the trusted training library many of you already rely on. So every answer in PLA is grounded in authoritative content. And third, it's ready from day one. There's no heavy setup requirements. So from the moment you log in, you can begin asking questions and get contextual answers. On the adoption side, we know every organization is different, and that's why we recommend starting small. Start with a pilot group of users. It's a safe way to prove value and build confidence. From there, it's easy to expand to additional teams and functions as the benefits become more obvious to your team. And ultimately, an organization may choose to go enterprise-wide, ensuring that everyone has access to the support, the knowledge retention, and the continuous updates. The bottom line, PLA is simple to start, PeopleSoft is simple to start, safe to adopt, and powerful to scale. It meets you where you are and grows with you. So, as we close, let's step back and remember what this is all about. The PeopleSoft Learning Assistant delivers real-time answers when people need them. It lowers training costs by making learning smarter and continuous. It preserves knowledge so expertise isn't lost when people move on, and ultimately creates a better, more confident PeopleSoft experience for every user. So let me ask you, are you ready to give your PeopleSoft users their time back? So you have options. You can start small with a pilot that proves value quickly, or you can roll it out more broadly and give your entire organization the advantage from day one. Either way, the next move is yours. And we're ready when you're ready. So here's the thank you slide with my contact information. But before we go off, I see that there are quite a few questions over here. And I'll work to answer them. There are 14 questions. So 14 questions in 20 minutes. I think we can handle that. 16 questions. All right. So we'll start at the top. Is PLA available now, or does it need to be enabled? So PLA is available now. We just need to license you for it, and you'd be good to go. We have a great team of business development folks that would love to talk to you about it. You can shoot me an email or on the someone will get in touch with you right away. Can I explain the differences between PLA and OGL? Sure. So PeopleSoft Learning Assistant is a RAG, that's Retrieval Augmented Generation, enabled chat client on top of our All Access Learning Pass. So you can talk to PLA like you can talk to ChatGPT. The difference is that PLA is purpose built for PeopleSoft and has access to content that ChatGPT does not. That's what PLA is. OGL is Oracle Guided Learning, which is Oracle's next generation user adoption platform. It ships, or parts of it ship with Oracle's SaaS projects. And SpearMC has, or Mythics, I should say, has some pre-built modules for PeopleSoft where you can use OGL in your environment. And it's kind of like that old show it, do it, show it, try it, do it sort of thing. It plugs in, sits on top of PeopleSoft, helps to guide you through it. It is a separate licensed product from Oracle. But again, if you were to go to the SpearMC website, there is lots of information on OGL, and would love to talk to you about that. So does the AI assistant interact with OGL? If so, does it utilize OGL customized content? So the AI assistant understands what OGL modules have been implemented in our demo environment, and where there is good overlap, or where a question that is asked can be answered or demonstrated by an OGL module, it does the show me how button. That's how that works. And right now, the intent is that we are connecting the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant to a SpearMC OGL PeopleSoft demo instance. Now, if you have your own implementation of OGL and you would like the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant to connect to your PeopleSoft demo OGL modules, there is a way that we can do that. And again, we'd welcome the opportunity to discuss that with you one-on-one. How the mods documentation are handled if it looks to a specific library. This was Giovanna Godek. I'm not entirely sure what this question is trying to ask. If I assume that you're questioning it, if it looks to what it's looking to or how it stays current, as we update our courses, we re-ingest the content into the All Access Learning Pass, which keeps the answers that a PLA gives relevant. We also regularly ingest the latest version of PeopleBooks as those are updated and returned. I hope that answers the question. If it doesn't, feel free to send a follow-up. How are organizational customizations handled in the training library? Will each organization have its specific training library? So this is how retrieval augmented generation works. Out of the box, the base package is only using the SpearMC content and the SpearMC OGL content. If you would like to bring your own content in on top of the SpearMC content, that can be done, and you can have a slice. Basically, it's your own vector index that has your own information. So what happens then, if we think back to that sequence diagram, is that first it goes off and it queries your vector, then it goes off and queries the SpearMC vector, it brings that all back, and then it shoots it over to the AI engine, and the AI engine composes an answer. So we can bring your organizational information in, but you do have to have it documented in some way that it could be ingested. Can the login functionality for PLA be incorporated into an institution's single sign-on? Yes, absolutely, it can. We just did magic links out of the gate to keep it simple and easy, but doing SAML or OAuth assertions is certainly an option. You can discuss that with your sales representative. Can this tool connect to our own OGLs rather than SpearMCs? Yes. So we talked about that, and I gave a little bit more depth on that when we talked about having separate customer independent vector indexes. So the short answer is yes. The long answer is talk to your sales rep. Are PLA and OGL separate licenses? I can tell you definitively that OGL is a separate license. You can do OGL is a separate license if you're running it on your own instance. If you're using the SpearMC content, it is not. As far as licensing for PLA, I'm going to defer that to your sales rep. So another question, how would it handle questions related to custom components or modules? So we talked about that a little bit when we spoke about the ability to build custom vector stores or custom vector indexes. So as long as your customizations are documented in a way that we can bring them into your own vector, then they can be used to create answers for your users. Another question, are we able to add our own content to the training? And the answer there is yes, you can add your own content to the training, the same way we've talked about previously before. Does this tool cover Oracle Analytics BI tools, or is it focused on the core pillars, HCM, FMS, and CS? Right now, the tool covers any area where SpearMC has course content. I am not sure if we have any course content around Oracle Analytics and BI tools specifically. So Cindy, that may be a question that you want to ask in the online web forum, and we'll get you a better answer there. The short answer is if it's in our All Access Learning Pass, it will be in PLA. Is the Elasticsearch the engine that drives PLA, or is it a title, or is there a title for it, or what? So PLA is not, I know I've talked a little bit about indexes, and you talk a lot about indexes when we talk about OpenSearch or Elasticsearch. They are not the same. You could put a vector store in Elasticsearch. That is not how we have implemented it. PLA is totally different than the PeopleSoft search indexes, the PeopleSoft open search concept. I hope that answers that question. What we have done is we have built the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant is a retrieval augmented generation chat client. Could PLA be used to access how-tos for customizations in our own instances? Yes, absolutely, yes. We've talked about that. What are the price options and models? I'm going to defer that to your sales representatives. It's not that I don't want to answer it, it's that it's best handled by those people. So please fill out the form on the website and we'll get you connected with someone who can talk about pricing and licensing with you. I might have missed it, and if I did, I apologize. When you say real time, what is the update schedule? Does the PLA knowledge base stay up to date in real time with PUM, patch, and tools updates? Yes, it does. So as PUM tools, as images are released and as tools updates are released on a quarterly basis for tools, those that PeopleBooks documentation is ingested into the PeopleSoft Learning Assistant. As we teach new iterations of our courses, which is happening ongoing all the time year round, we're updating that content and re-ingesting it. So that's what we mean when we say real time, is that the training is as current as our last offering, and the documentation is as current as the last iteration that Oracle published. Would institutions need to license ALP content library in addition to the Learning Assistant, or does adoption of PLA automatically include the needed access to the library content? I believe I can confidently answer that if you license PLA as a brand new customer, you will automatically get access to AALP. That would be another good one for you to take to business development. Okay, can PLA be trained to use custom source material, or our institution has several customized components in campus solutions? Yes, Kelly, absolutely it can. Love to talk to you about that in more detail. Can PLA offer steps based on our customized pages versus out of the box? Yes, and we've talked a little bit about that. To give you a little more on that, we can prompt engineer the we can prompt engineer the prompt that goes to AI to favor your content over the library's content. So it first searches your stuff, then it searches the common stuff, and if it doesn't find the common stuff, then it just says it can't find it. What is the license fee? I think that is a discussion you should have with your sales rep. So fill out the form on the website, and we can talk about licensing. Can it be integrated with SSO? Yes, we answered that question. It can. Can customization documentation be added to the tool? Yes, we answered that question. Yes, it can. Does PLA simply pull from previous BRMC course training and notes? Well, I guess yes, it does. So the course training and the notes and the videos plus PeopleBooks, that is how PLA does what it does. But there's quite a bit of work that goes into um, making it so that an AI tool can understand that content. I am a current subscriber to the All Access Learning Pass. Am I able to access the PLA, or is there an additional cost? I believe you can access the PLA. I would suggest that you reach out to Susan Carinante about that, and she can get you access. What type size of business is this targeted to? Well, we're targeting all PeopleSoft customers of all sizes. And because it's a SaaS solution, it scales really well. Whether we're talking about licensing it for 1 or 2 users or an entire organization, um, pretty broad. If PLA is ingesting updates for the latest versions, is it still able to deal with older versions efficiently? Yes. Again, it's going to favor the latter content over the earlier content. And something that is on the roadmap is the ability to like select from a drop down which version you would like to target. So you're thinking that you want to target image X or tools version Y. That's definitely on the roadmap. What is the average cost of a PLA license? Well, it's a brand new product. And again, I'm going to defer that conversation to the business development folks, to a sales rep. Fill out the form online, and I'm sure they'll be able to get some licensing information to you. Is the learning assistance library updated with every PUM? Do this learning assistance functionality provides general training, or is it based on security roles? That's a thoughtful question. And basically, any information that is ingested into into the learning assistant, into these vectors, is available for answers. That doesn't mean that someone's going to have access to be able to do something in PeopleSoft. This is just information that is generally available to, for consumption. Now, whether or not you can do it or not in your site is another thing entirely. Glad that answered your question, Cindy. Thanks. Is there a demo site we can see before purchasing? I would encourage you to talk to your sales representative. I think they may be able to do some sort of demonstration. But again, I think that's going to be more of a sales conversation. So please fill out the form on the website, and someone will be with you shortly. Crystal, you are very welcome. Ishrat, you are very welcome. Okay, so it's 12:59. We got through all 34 questions. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much. Again, my contact information's on the slide. You're welcome to contact me at any time. Hope to see you soon in another webinar, or at a conference, or even a discussion about signing up for this new product. With that, we'll say goodbye. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much, Joe. Have a great day, everyone.